I love you guys. Welcome to the Torg Stories Podcast. In this episode, Ann and I are using stories we read or watched as catalysts for discussion. We're looking at LeBron James to the Philadelphia 76ers, the idea of being middle-aged, Ann's review of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and writing advice from John McPhee. And in the last 30 days, views at thetorg.com are up 43%. Visitors are up 55%. 10 copies of Love on the Big Screen have been sold.
Well, it really must be those bookmarks I passed out.
Oh, that's right. That's probably what it is.
I do have like 5 more. I found them in a different pile, and I was like, oh, I got to pass these out too. It's good to be spaced out, I think. Well, great. I guess people are interested. Surprisingly.
I definitely had, in the last 10 years, there were years where 10 copies of Love on the Big Screen didn't sell for the year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, why would they really without publicity? I mean,
it's only 99 cents these days.
Oh, well, you're just
on
making
Amazon.
hand over fist money.
Yeah, no money, just trying to build an audience.
Yeah.
And then there's a little read in the middle, which of course you don't listen to our podcast, but there's a little like probably 20-second break about the midway
ad
point where I talk about the book very quickly. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I also heard you mention talking about middle-aged. I didn't know we were talking about that, so surprise for me.
It ended up going really well with LeBron, right?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It's just out of nowhere for me. Although I guess LeBron is younger than us, right? Yeah, he's 40-something.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was 50-something. That would be really crazy.
It still could happen. I was thinking, I can't remember if you do this or not. I was thinking of how when I read and watch these things, what I'm trying to bring to you is something we can talk about. I'm trying to think if you do that or not.
I think so, but maybe not as in depth as you do. But,
because I'm definitely going to ask you.
You're thinking of an angle, I guess.
When does middle age start? And so there's like that. I don't know if you do that or not. Anyway, so Ann, I've been excited to go see it. I thought I was going to go see the Odyssey. I got to say, after looking at your notes, I'm not sure I want to go see it.
No, I do recommend seeing it. People clapped after.
Well, yeah.
When people clap, I'm always like, you're clapping for this movie? I liked it. It was interesting. Will I ever watch it again? No, I absolutely will not watch it again.
Yeah.
Do I think it was spectacular? No. Did I end it and say, what a great movie? No. I said, oh, that was interesting. Oh, I liked how it ended.
What do you mean by interesting? Unpack interesting.
How they approached the story, the mythology.
Right.
When I got home, I read the Wikipedia on it.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely read the Odyssey before.
Yeah.
I took Greek mythology in college. Did I just read summaries of it? Did I read stories of it, or did I read the whole thing? I want to say I read the whole thing, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm assuming. I think at the end, Odysseus' son Telemachus has all the sex slaves all executed. I'm assuming that was not in the film.
That was not in the movie. I read that in Wikipedia. I was like, geez,
yeah,
this is
I know,
rough.
right?
And
I guess I shouldn't be laughing.
Odysseus, spoilers, I guess, if you don't want any spoilers, but it's a thousands and thousands of years old, right? In the stories, of course, he's very unfaithful, right? He sleeps with all sorts of people. And in this one, it's like he's trying to get home, which I guess he's trying to get home in the other one too, but he's faithfully trying to get home in this one.
Yeah.
Perhaps he sleeps with that one woman who traps him on the island, but it's not really shown in the movie. So you believe that it's like a love. Like him and his wife have this real love.
Does he shoot the arrow through all the axe handles?
He shoots the arrow.
Surely he does that.
I had forgotten about that. And when they started mentioning it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. I do remember that. And so there was a lot of that. It was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And oh, the one-eyed Cyclops. Oh, I remember that guy. So it was a lot of that for me.
You did see it at an IMAX or no?
I saw it in IMAX at the Grove. Now, is that one of the top IMAX theaters? Probably not. I didn't really think it through when I made the reservation. I would have, if I'd done it over, I would have tried to make it at the Universal Studios where they had the premiere, which is top of the line IMAX. I guess the best ones in New York, maybe, is what I'm hearing.
I felt like there were 25 that are similar. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but I assume the one that he showed the premiere was really great too. But I just made it for the convenience right here in the Grove. And when I got in there, I really looked at the screen. I was like, I mean, it's big, but is it really bigger? I mean, is it bigger than the ISIS Theater? I don't know. I feel like the ISIS Theater seemed really big at Winamac, Indiana, is what I'm talking about. In
I
the
guess
old days, I
read,
felt like our screens were huge in the old days, right?
yeah, I read that the focus, unless it's one of the IMAXs that it's shot for, and I read something like 25 theaters in the United States, that the focus kind of fuzzes out the further away you get from the middle, unless it's one of the best IMAXs.
Oh, I didn't notice focus. The picture looked good to me. Did I say, oh, I'm so glad I saw it in IMAX? I don't know. I've never seen an IMAX movie where I've been like, oh, this is great because it's an IMAX. I've only seen a handful of movies in IMAX, though, I'd say, but.
So Charlotte wants to see it because of all the famous people. Maybe we should go over that real quick. Who are the famous people in it?
Of course, Matt Damon stars in it. Anne Hathaway plays his wife. Tom Holland plays their kid.
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron, Robert Pattinson. There's a lot of fringe people who
are Zendaya.
Zendaya is in it.
Oh, I said it wrong. No, I actually really still don't. I mean, I know of her, but I can't like.
I'm going to say this. I like Zendaya. She has great style and a great personality and seems like a good person. I don't get her actress.
So cred. I used to, 5 years ago, I used to troll the girls by saying Zendaya, haha.
Oh, okay.
So that slipped out a little
bit. Stuck in your mind. I mean, I think she's an okay actress, but she doesn't blow me away. But actually, she played Athena in this, in the way they did it was pretty interesting. I liked it, actually, because Athena's kind of visiting him throughout, and she's kind of in a disguise of, well, I shouldn't give that away, but she's like, she appears as a person in real life, but it's, of course, not her real appearance as a god. I almost wish the gods were in it a little more, maybe, but it's a good movie. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it. It is a good movie. I'm just saying it's not one of the greatest movies.
In Clash of the Titans, the gods are in Clash of the Titans. Remember that movie?
I remember that movie. I remember Medusa mainly. I don't know that I saw that movie, but I remember the book. I think you had the book.
I know, right? I had some unusual reading habits. Like Megan was like, I don't know if I want to go see that. And Charlotte said, let me give you some reasons. And then she started listing the famous people she likes in it.
Yeah, there are
Izzy wants to see Minions, which is kind of a birthday tradition for her. July 10th was her birthday, and a lot of the Minions movies have come out right around then. I haven't liked the last couple one, and she wants to see Toy Story, so everybody was sort of arguing about what movie to see, so we didn't see any movies, and we played...
So you just saw none at all, yeah.
We didn't see any, and we played Spike Ball by the Creek instead. We got Jersey Mike's Takeout,
memories, yeah.
And we played Spike Ball by the Creek. So that probably beat the movies.
Your Jersey Mike's sandwich really wet, full of vinegar, or no?
No, they actually also, I did tell myself I was going to get it Mike's Way the next time I went. However, they also put extra emphasis on their famous Philly sandwich. So that isn't Mike's Way, but I did let them serve me that sandwich how they like to serve it.
Oh, okay. Good.
So I got the steak Philly, and so they have their own little thing. Everything else is, do you want it Mike's Way, right?
This is off topic, but normally I never get DoorDash or Post-its or anything like that. That's a food delivery service because the prices are just out of control, right? The only time I ever get them if it's like 40% off, and even
we never do. I don't believe we ever have
40% off, Bill. It's still like, ooh, it's a little expensive. Well, I got one for 70% off, and I could have 3 orders. So on Friday, Chick-fil-A ordered it. I could drive to Chick-fil-A and pick it up, but it was cheaper to get it this way. Yesterday, I got a huge Prince Street pizza, which, my God, it's such a pain for me to drive to Prince Street Pizza. I froze half the pizza. Wonderful for half, 70%. So I've been really flying high this weekend on my Post-it.
They're just trying to get you to use their service?
I know, but I'll never use it unless they give me 70% off.
I know, right. No, that's amazing. No, we don't do that. I think people do deliver. Some people deliver to our house because we have a rental cabin down the hill, as you know. We don't have the cabin. There is one someone else owns. But they get takeout once in a while.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just so overpriced. Is pretty crazy.
Did
But
you
yeah,
want to? I
go
was
ahead.
looking at your notes. Did you want to get into? Did you want to bring up Interstellar? Did you want to say, is there such a thing as?
Yeah, I did want to say Interstellar.
I maybe
So
should watch that.
you've never seen
I don't
Interstellar?
think I have.
Okay, I watched Interstellar when it came out in the theaters, I'm sure. And I remember being confused, like, what's going on here at the end? Because it was confusing to me, and maybe I didn't pay attention. I have kind of realized that I'm really good at, as a student, I'm good at looking at a book. I'm not good at listening to a lecturer or even retaining stuff from a movie.
Mm.
So anyway,
No, you've had some below average podcast performances after seeing a movie.
yeah, it's like the memory, it doesn't get in my mind. Even like attending a lecture in college, to be like, I don't have a clue what he just said. I'd have to look at the book and examine it. And so I don't think I really understood Interstellar the first time I watched it. So I was on the plane, 11-hour plane ride back to LAX from Heathrow. And I saw Interstellar. And so I thought, well, I'll watch that again. And so I watched it. And this time I got it. I understood it. I tried to pay attention. Maybe I'm older and could follow it better. And I liked it. I really do think it's probably my favorite Christopher Nolan film.
Wow.
I looked at all the Christopher Nolan films, and a lot of them have left me, it's interesting. It's weird. Has great stars in it, but I don't love it. So to me, Interstellar probably is his best one, and the soundtrack, of course, is amazing. So I watched that, and so I was trying to decide, and prep for Odyssey. And for the Odyssey, I would say the soundtrack was great. I love the soundtrack once again. I believe it's by a Swedish guy, Ludwig somebody. He gets a lot of press nowadays, and he's like one of the top guys. And it was really good. I really liked the soundtrack. I like the idea that he casts all these stars, but sometimes I'm like, maybe you're casting too many stars.
Mm-hmm.
He casts this director, Benny Safdie. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's a famous director. He used to direct with his brother. His brother directed Marty Supreme, for instance. And he cast him as Agamemnon. I can hardly say it. Agamemnon, whatever. Yeah. And I don't get it. Why would you do it? It doesn't make sense to me. He had a lot of that character hardly spoke, and he looked really cool in his armor, and you couldn't even see his face. And so to me, it was like, and then you slightly revealed his face at the end, and it was like, he's just like a chub, nothing. You wouldn't think of him as like that, and maybe that's the point. But to me, that's like casting that I don't get. And I think sometimes he casts too many stars, if you will. There's a couple of real small parts that are cast by stars, and you're like, they're hardly in this movie. Travis Scott played the bard, like, who Travis Scott is? He's a famous rapper.
Right.
And he had a good look, and he only had like 3 lines in the whole movie. So it was like, okay, we noticed it's Travis Scott, but he has a insignificant part. So to me, that kind of draws away from the movie a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So he had almost too many stars to me, but it's also kind of cool to see so many stars in an Ocean 11 kind of feeling. But I kind of think it fits an Ocean 11 kind of movie better than in the Odyssey.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
so
looking
that's
at
one of my things.
I'm looking at Christopher Nolan movies. I really liked Oppenheimer. Although
I can really get through that.
And this is what you just said, although about 10 or 15 minutes to go, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, like halfway through, I was like, I'm
it
tired
didn't
of this
matter
movie.
what the last 10 minutes were, I didn't think.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, I like. Memento, I like. The Dark Knight Rises, I like. I liked Insomnia. So those are all movies I like pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, I saw all those, and they were all good. I mean, I like the Batman movies. The Heath Ledger one, of course, was great. And I actually really enjoyed Bane, Tom Hardy's voice in the other Batman, that crazy voice he does. I enjoyed those, and I recognize them as good movies. But like Tenet's a movie you watched, and you're like, what the hell just happened? I don't even understand. Inception, I can hardly remember. I watched it, and people love it, but I didn't love it. So
I can't remember if I watched it or not.
It was a weird movie with DiCaprio with buildings moving in the wind. I didn't.
I kind of think I didn't see it.
So yeah.
Okay, so we both read LeBron James articles. I'll give you a little bit from mine first. You can add from yours. LeBron's final decision is a massive plot twist for the NBA. That's by Michael Pina from The Ringer. I'm reading your notes. That's what you read.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
what I read. I was like, did we read the same one?
Here's what I read. LeBron picks the 76ers as the last decision to sign a 2-year, $8 million deal by Dave McManum. I think I got it. You mentioned this earlier. James is 41. He's born on December 30th, so he'll turn 42 at the beginning of the season. 2003, 2 years before my junior in college was born, was his first year in the league. This will be his 24th year in the league. And then here's a quote to get us started, some of which I just said. James, 41, is signing a 2-year, $8 million contract with a player option, Clutch Sports Group CEO Rich Paul told ESPN's Shams Charania. James made nearly $53 million with the Los Angeles Lakers last season.
Right. He doesn't care about money anymore. He has enough, which is refreshing. You do have enough. You don't need to bleed these
Yeah,
teams
let me
dry,
say
right?
two things already about what you just said. Um, I think LeBron James went up a couple notches for me on this choice, which we can unpack. And then I'm predicting being on a really good team with some already famous players in Philadelphia is probably a pretty good financial decision, even though your paycheck isn't as much.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to really affect his quality of life, right? His quality of life is
It's good
pretty
for the
set.
brand.
It's good for the brand. You look like you want to just win. That's the most important thing. He's shown ability to play a secondary role in the Lakers this past year. He's really just a smart player. And actually, I don't have any really bad things to say about LeBron. I'm not some kind of LeBron fan, but I don't dislike LeBron. And
It's
I
funny
actually hope this
how
works.
it's funny how we can be, slightly above average on LeBron. Like nothing. I don't have anything bad to say. I do think he would be hard to coach. Um, but nothing bad to say about him, but also not like super fans.
Right. I'm definitely not a super fan at all. His emergence in prime in the NBA, I didn't even watch the NBA, so it
I
doesn't
like
even
him a
affect
lot
me.
more than I like Kobe, for example.
For example, I dislike Kobe a lot, and it's really rough living in LA like that. I see
Yeah.
Kobe murals every other day on the street, and people love them, so I dare never open my mouth about it. But yeah, I hope it works because I think it's a lot of fun. I like to see an emergence of a team that's been struggling a little bit, although they weren't horrible last year, but this whole Embiid thing's kind of been dragging them down. So I think it could be a lot of fun. And if he went to Cleveland to me, that would have been like nothing. That team wouldn't have done anything with him, I don't think. Cleveland to me is on the downward slope. And everybody kind of seemed to be like, he's going to Cleveland.
Right.
There's a slight chance he might go to Golden State, but he's going to Cleveland. That's what's happening. So I think it's kind of exciting when the unexpected happens, and I enjoy that.
So why not?
I'm all positive for it.
Why not LA for the veteran minimum? I mean, it's not a money thing because he's making the veterans minimum. Why not play for LA? Do they not want him? Does he not
I
want
think
them?
I heard that they didn't really want him, so they were like, "Go ahead and announce that you want to leave to make it look better for you," because they're just ready to turn the page and make the team be based around Luka, I guess. And maybe they just don't want to deal with him anymore. He's never fully been embraced by Los Angeles, I don't think, because he's somebody who came from different sets of teams. They like him, but it's like he's not like Kobe. Yeah, he's just not the same.
I think I'll start with what I think is most important, but there's a lot interesting about the Lakers, and of course, we couldn't be more of outsiders. But if Luka is your best player, and Reeves is your second best player, and LeBron is your third best player, you're really, really bad on defense.
Right, you're bad on defense.
Really bad on defense.
Really bad. They're already going to be bad on defense. Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's number one. And then I think interesting, JJ Redick, the coach from Duke, and LeBron seem to have a really good relationship. JJ Redick is never the coach of the Lakers if he doesn't podcast
Right.
with LeBron. So that part's interesting. And then I guess JJ got this chance, and he proved himself, and now they like him and they want him.
Right. I think he's proved himself, and everybody's like, "You're a great coach. We want to keep you." Also, LeBron probably, even though maybe he wasn't necessarily wanted there, he probably realized they're not going to win with me and this team. So
LeBron
why
is
bother?
also,
Right? Yeah.
he's also, I think, number two. Again, this is a huge credit to him. On some level, he's accepting that if he makes 50 million, the team's not very good.
Right. Exactly. The team can't go
So
anywhere.
that's huge for him.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
I think if he's just looking at lineups, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I kind of still want to be a starter.
Right.
And I'm a 4. I need to be in the 4 spot. I don't need to be a 3 where he would have been with a lot of these teams guarding the wings. And they really need me at the 4. And
Right. Yeah.
so really good players, some good defenders who can cover up what LeBron's not as good at. Although I think Mobley could have done that, but he would have been more of a 3 in Cleveland. So I really like it. I think one of your first reactions was it's a fun choice.
Yeah, it's fun. It makes it interesting. You're interested in how Philadelphia responds to this. Of course, the key choice or the key thing to me is what is Embiid going to be like? Is he going to be able to play a decent amount of games and survive? And is he going to be able to work with all these kind of ball guys, right? Like Jaylen Brown,
Yeah, sure.
LeBron James, even Maxey. These are all people who score. And in my significantly not very good understanding of Embiid's past, he's a guy who would get the ball and try to be the main guy. Right?
One thing I haven't heard anyone say, and I'm sure Embiid has had access to the best training in the world, but they're picking up a guy who's unprecedented in his training and habits with LeBron.
Right.
Like, can LeBron make Embiid 5% better? Just, does Embiid not listen to a lot of people and he'll listen to LeBron a little bit more? Or does he do everything possible and he just has bad luck in a body that breaks down?
Right. Yeah. Does he just have a big, huge body that's hard to sustain?
So here's a quiz question for you, Ann.
Great.
I've got the top. We're not sponsored by FanDuel, but we're going to bring them up anyway.
Okay.
I've got the top 5 favorites in the East on FanDuel. Can you name them? And let's see if you get the right order.
Okay. I actually wrote down who I thought was going to do well in the East, didn't I?
Great.
I did kind of. Who they think the top 5, though, is probably going to be different.
That's right. Do that first.
So they probably think the Knicks are going to be number 1.
That's 1.
2, it's probably going to be not true, but I'm going to say 76ers are 2 in my mind.
They are.
Are they? Okay. Then they probably got like Detroit.
The Pistons are 4.
Okay.
So you're missing 3.
I guess the Cavs.
Nope. Not in the list.
Pacers? No.
Not on the list.
Nobody believes in the Pacers.
Right. It's a little surprising.
Who am I missing? Toronto?
Yes, 5. That's assuming
it's the Heat. They've lost their mind.
No, it's not the Heat.
Okay. Well, then I don't know who else is
the
left.
Celtics.
Oh, Celtics to me, they're going to be good this season, like last season, and then they're not going to do anything in the playoffs to me. They have Tatum. I guess they got Paul George, but he's not going to do anything, is he?
Yeah, he had a good year. I think he'll be. I think they'll be better than last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty rough.
Right. If
they
Tatum,
have let's remember they lost Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but so they lost Jaylen Brown. They picked up Jason Tatum. And they picked up Paul
Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum.
Well, he didn't play last year. He didn't play
played in the playoffs.
Right. That's true. So to me,
I think they're overrated. Celtics are overrated. That's my final.
Yeah, I think they lost Jaylen Brown and they picked up Jason Tatum and they picked up Paul George.
Okay.
And Paul George will pass the ball and play defense. I don't know.
Right. And maybe you play like half the games or something.
Now, what I did with that information is I bet $20 on the Pacers plus 600.
All right. I like it.
Plus 600,
like
Ann. They're the sixth best team according to FanDuel. How could to us? I mean, they lost Turner and picked up Zubac.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah, and then they
I
lost
guess people
something.
are worried about Halliburton, how he's going to respond. I just saw him do a between the legs dunk on Instagram, so I think he's doing okay.
Great.
To me, people are writing off the Pacers too soon, and of course that could be part of my heart. I have a whole paragraph on this, and to me, the Knicks will not repeat. They lost Mitchell. That's an important thing to lose, right? Don't you think? He was an
It
important
is
part of their
super
team.
important. In fact,
Yeah.
right.
I don't know who they picked up. Maybe you know better.
I don't.
Yeah, to me, they're not going to repeat. They're going to be very good. They're not going to repeat. I think the Pacers will be right there. I hope.
Right.
Detroit, to me, not going to be as good as they were. I don't see how they're going to be good. They didn't do anything. The Heat think Giannis isn't going to play over half the games. The Heat are not going to be good. They're going to be better than maybe Milwaukee last year, but they're not going to be good. Cavs are not going to be as good as they were either, I don't think. Raptors, people are overrating the Raptors. Now, unless Kawhi really goes to the Raptors and he has a season like he had last season, okay, that'll be great. But what are the chances?
What are the chances of what?
Number one, he still goes to the Raptors. We don't know what's going on.
Oh, Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
2, he's going to be healthy like he was last year. I think that's hard to believe, right?
Right.
So those are my feelings about the East. I don't know. I think the 76ers have a really good chance and the Pacers have a really good chance. But sure, the Knicks are the favorite. I'll give you that.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else from your Sixers article? Looks like you got to it right there.
Yeah, I think my article was LeBron's final decision was massive plot twist for the NBA by Michael Pina in The Ringer. I thought he was a little too negative about the switch. He was like, it's exciting and it's fun, but he doesn't think it's going to have a big impact. And I disagree with that, I guess.
Right. I agree.
Because I feel like LeBron's intelligence and mastery of the game, sure, the season might be a little bit of a coast, but I think he will help them.
You're getting a guy who schematically, game plan wise, is on par with any coach in the NBA.
Exactly. And a winner. He's a
So
winner.
as long as LeBron and Nick Nurse are enthusiastic collaborators.
That's right. You're a Nick Nurse guy too.
I am a Nick Nurse guy. As long as they're, and I think there's a great chance that they will be enthusiastic collaborators. And I think Nick Nurse will say what he thinks needs to be said when it needs to be said. He won't back down from coaching him.
Just like kind of JJ. Yeah.
Yeah. But he also will try to tap into LeBron's thoughts in a way that some people aren't really confident enough to do.
Right, exactly. Now, I do agree there's some things to give you pause, like what is Embiid? What's he going to be like? How is Jaylen Brown going to fit in with Maxey and LeBron?
Yeah.
And 3, maybe their depth isn't so great. I read this guy's article, and he's like, they got 2 people on the bench, and that's it. So that might be a problem.
I feel like I'm not as sure that Jaylen Brown, who left the Celtics, got traded from the Celtics, is so bent on having his own team. I think he's probably, in this again, super outsider perspective, I think he feels like I was the MVP of the NBA Finals, and I feel like people are always talking about trading me. That's probably his.
Right. I feel like he feels like he's an absolute 100% equal to Jason Tatum.
I don't think he's going to be saying,
judges him that. Yeah.
Why is Maxey getting as many shots as me? LeBron's got the ball too much. I just don't think he's going to say that. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a huge Jaylen Brown fan, but he's obviously a terrific player. I don't know that he's been treated right, really, by the Celtics.
I'm more apt to say he's a high IQ, high character person. And even though I'm not sure what happened here at the end with the Celtics, I tend to give him the benefit of the doubt so far.
Right. And he is fun. The things he says is kind of fun. And his little Twitch streams are fun.
Yeah. Twitch.
Twitch. He's on Twitch.
I've yet to watch my first Twitch stream.
I don't think I have either. I mean, it's a gamer platform, right?
Yeah.
And I've never been interested in watching people play video games, but yeah. So it's just another platform you can go live. Yeah.
All right, let's transition to middle age, Ann.
Middle-aged, great. I will say I felt really middle-aged on my trip.
Mm.
I was in the train station, I want to say Prague, maybe Krakow. I don't know. I had to carry my bags down some stairs, and on the landing, I had a little trip, landed on both my knees.
Oh no.
Yeah, it could have been horrible, but it wasn't actually. I just have a bruise on my knee, right on my broken leg knee too. But
You almost had you almost had to make use of your trip insurance.
right, imagine if I broken my leg or something. Anyway, it was embarrassing.
Split your kneecap.
Yeah, I just fell to my knees. It wasn't like I sprawled out or anything like that. But somebody was next to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, are you all right? Do you need help carrying this bag?" And I was like, "No, no, I'm fine." Anyway, it did make me feel really old, even though it's something I could have done when I was 22.
So this is When Middle Age Actually Starts. It's by Julie Beck from The Atlantic at thetorg.com. I link you to that. And I think I'll open by asking you, when does middle age start and end?
I feel like 40 is middle age. Maybe even a late 30 could be middle aged.
Ooh.
When does it end? I think 59. Like when you're 60, you're starting on that. You're not really middle aged anymore. You're old.
I think I'm going to play with, I think I'm going to play. When are you
Almost
old?
maybe 55. Maybe that's
When
it.
are you old?
Huh?
When did you say you were old? I was fiddling with my notes.
40. When you're
No,
40.
when's the end? You told me the end.
Oh, I said the end would be 59, but maybe 55.
Yeah.
Middle age is over.
I think the first thing you have to do is get away from the idea of literal middle age.
Yeah, because I was like 80 to me is like an age people start dying. So half of that would be 40, right?
Yeah. And so Julie Beck, the author, one thing she brings in this article, which I liked, which led to the question I asked you, was middle age being a period of time as
Okay.
opposed to like a literal age, which you kind of, so instead of saying, well, it's the average life expectancy, let's say I think it's 87, let's say it's 90, middle age is 45. I think I landed on 48 to 62. And
Wow.
I say that even though I'm always saying I'm old. Like
Right.
I'm not claiming middle age.
You're not trying to cling to your youth, yeah.
But and then, I think something else that comes up, of course, it's a state of mind, but it's also who you're hanging around. And my hang around is mostly teenage girls who play high school basketball. And then college students who, of course, vary by age, but are often 20 to 22 years old.
Sounds a little creepy, but it's not because of the context.
Because of my jobs.
Yeah.
So to them, I'm always saying I'm old. I'm
Right,
old.
because you feel old. Yeah.
I'm old. When I started teaching, we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
We didn't have the internet when I started teaching. There was no such thing as email when I started teaching.
I think the internet did exist. You maybe didn't have the internet.
No, right. No, the internet helped guide nuclear missiles in the Department of Defense. Somewhere in there, we started dialing up. But I think I lived in Peru, Indiana, as a teacher when we started dialing up. Am I wrong?
When I was in college, and which would be 1992 to 96, that's the first time I had an email. I had a
school
email, and I didn't have a computer, but other people did. Some people had Macs.
Yep.
Those weird-looking Macintoshes, and we would have to go to a kiosk in the union to check my email because I didn't have my email. I did go through college using a word processor for my papers, but the internet was starting. So to me, that's when it started.
Izzy, we were talking grades.
And we had dial-up. Yeah, I remember
so
dial-up. Sure.
One thing I tell people, which probably gives me a bad reputation, but I got a D in typing too. And as I told that
in high school.
Yeah. And as I told that story, Izzy said, my daughter Izzy, who's going to Utah here in the fall, said, you took typing on a literal typewriter? You used a literal typewriter in typing? I was like, well, yeah, it was electric.
It wasn't electric.
It was electric, yeah. We're taking a quick break from the episode so I can tell you about my novel, Love on the Big Screen. It tells the story of a college freshman whose understanding of love has been shaped by late 80s romantic comedies such as 16 Candles and Say Anything. The second edition is available on Amazon as a Kindle book for only 99 cents. You can get the paperback for $9.99. You can go to thetorg.com. You can link to the book on Amazon. You also can put your email in as a subscriber, and you can find all of our old podcast episodes. Couple other things, we'd love for you to like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this podcast, maybe at some place like Spotify. If you're feeling super generous, write us a podcast review on Apple Podcasts or write a review of my novel, Love on the Big Screen, on Amazon. Thank you so much. Back to the episode. Here's from the article. I'll read you. There's a whole bunch we can talk about, I think. The average life expectancy in the United States is 79. So if you
Yeah,
cut,
I'll be upset if I die at 79, I think.
well, since you interrupted
Maybe hit
me,
the 80s. Yeah.
since you interrupted me, this caused me to do a whole thing with Gemini where Gemini helped predict my age.
Oh, well, that's up. Oh, predict your age. Okay. I
Yeah,
thought you
and
were
what
saying predict your death. I was like, yeah.
well, it kind of did. So one of the first things Gemini said, which is what you're saying, it said, "How old are you?" And I said 55, and it said, "Congratulations. You've already avoided so many things that could have killed you. Now your life expectancy is 84." And so that was
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like where we started. And so
Well,
that's
you
true.
got to hit 50 before you can hit 84, right?
Yeah. So if you're predicting your age when you're 25, there's a lot of things out there.
Right. Car accidents,
Okay,
early
so here I go.
cancer.
I'm going to pick it back up. But that doesn't reveal much. Middle age isn't just a point in time, but a phase of life. How long does that phase last? When does it start? When does it end? How can you tell when you're in it? These turn out are very fraught questions.
They are very fraught. I think for a woman, it's also different too, right? Because,
Nice. Yep.
not to get too into this, but of course, women have menopause and perimenopause. And those things are kind of like triggering in your mind to like, ooh, I'm an old lady now. And I have to deal with all these physical things. So I think it is different for a man and a woman. A man sometimes is 70 and he gets married and has a kid. You might want to shoot that man and say, get a hold of yourself. But it's a free world, I guess. They can do whatever they want. But women kind of have to confront their age, I think, earlier than men, even though men are, of course, dying earlier.
Yeah, good one. That's a nice
Yeah.
a nice paradox. So part of what the article does is talk about the myth of the midlife crisis. Would you say you had a midlife crisis? You're having
No,
one. What would it look like if you had one?
I have no idea. I don't think I've had one. I've never felt in crisis. I felt urgency maybe to do things like move and things like that,
Yeah,
but I've never felt it in a midlife kind of
that's what I
way. I
was
mean,
getting
maybe
ready.
slightly, I guess. Like if I don't do this, then I'm going to die in this place, and I don't want to do that. So maybe that did hit me a little bit, but so I guess a little bit, but I don't feel like I'm having one now. No.
I think that's what I thought. If I were to say what a midlife crisis look like, the thing I've been successful at in the last 7 years, you know what? I could say my midlife crisis was I'm going to quit at St. John's and I'm going to coach my daughter's high school basketball teams in Indiana, where I grew up, and my kids are going to play high school basketball in Indiana. Maybe that was my midlife crisis for 1 year.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. To me, I guess that one of the major things that made me move was forecasting in my mind the future and that it was going to be the same and I was going to die there. And that upset me. I would rather forecast my future here and die here than I would die there. So
How old were you when you moved to LA? How old were
I
you?
was almost 40. I don't think I
Yeah.
was quite 40,
Okay.
but I was like 38, 39.
Yeah. I think if we want to spin that in the right direction for us, um, we're glimpsing the end and making some decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Making positive changes to our life to make ourselves happier rather than be comfortable and perhaps slightly unhappy. I wouldn't say I was unhappy, but
So I've been pleased the last 7 years. The thing I've had to fight a little bit is I just stayed the course. Like, this is good. I'm living here. my kids are going to school here. This is my job. This is my other job. You don't need to take this class on Adobe Premiere or I don't know, just doing some
Yeah.
kind of weird
The
career thing.
change. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Or
Um,
I want to start an MFA program at Lee's McRae or something. Those would be
yeah. My natural impulse in life is to be comfortable,
yeah.
um, and not make changes. So for me, making changes isn't something I have to fight against. It's actually something I almost have to be like, yes, do it, do it. So yeah, I haven't really felt that.
Here's my favorite thing from the article. I think I'll preview it so you have a better chance. Y'all have a better chance of taking it in. She ends up saying that being middle-aged is there's people younger than you that you need to help and mentor, and there's people older than you that need your help.
Right, which you of course feel a lot with our mother. Yeah, for
Sort
sure.
of. Good. We'll circle back to that. Here's what she said, her couple sentences. Being middle, and she's talking about somebody else who she talked to about her ideas. Being middle aged to her means truly being in the middle, having people both younger and older than you looking to you for help and guidance. This might mean you're in a sandwich generation, caring for children and starting to support aging parents. Or it might mean you're a leader in your workplace, mentoring younger colleagues and relied on by older ones.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Obviously, I'm not taking care of any children or anything like that.
So
Uh,
I feel mostly through that. I
you
think
feel
I'm
mostly what?
through it. If
Oh,
that's the
you're through it. You're
definition,
not.
it's
Yeah.
almost over.
Right. It's almost over. Yeah. Well, that's like I said, Bill. You're 55, if I'm not
Yeah. I
mistaken.
mean, the head of the, who's so our mom, I mean, all that's left to do for mom, I mean, I might be forgetting a couple things, is to manage her stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Medicaid for right now, approved. Medications in order. Stopping
Her
in,
care. Yeah. Yeah.
in the long-term care facility looks good. Nice room, clean, being well cared for, doesn't need for anything. But also probably would be totally fine if I didn't do anything for 2 months in a row.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You got it.
that
You got all your S together, and
I
it's
mean, I
working
feel
good.
like I'm probably older than the head of the English department. Me and the chancellor at App State maybe are close to the same age. So there aren't many people. There are older people depending on me very much, if at all.
Right. Yeah. I get you. Yeah. I don't know. For me, older people, depending on me, no, I don't think there are any older
Like
people.
your
Now,
boss, the
definitely
owner,
people at work in my position. We have some younger people,
the
and there's
owners of the
two.
company, are they older than you?
They are older than me. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
10 years older than
They know
10
your
or 12
name.
years. They know my name, and I guess they're somewhat dependent on me, but not crazy dependent on
If
me.
you left, their sleep wouldn't change.
I don't think their sleep would change, but the work would suffer. The work
Yeah.
would
They
suffer.
would, right. That's good, right?
Yeah, they would be like, "Oh, damn, it sucks she left." I think for sure.
So
Um,
LeBron, he's at the dawn of middle age.
he is at the dawn of middle age. Think of that, his life, what he's lived through. It's pretty extraordinary. Some of these, I know we're always like these rich, famous people, uh, the billionaires, and we have like grudges against them and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, my God, they've really lived through it. Since he was 18 or
I've heard people dismiss people like LeBron's conditioning because they say, well, he's wealthy and he has time.
right, like
Of
that.
course he's in great shape, but it's
Yeah.
like, no,
Look at all the rich people around who aren't in great shape.
you
I mean,
still
come
have
on.
to put the work in every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. I get it. I get that being rich makes everything easier, but it's also he has insane amounts of pressure on him from all sorts of people. He probably supports a large number of people financially. His decisions affect the tides of teams, professional organizations. He's been at this since he was a teenager.
Right.
He's raised children.
I
He's
was
had a lot of pressures, is what I'm saying.
I was thinking, and why must I do this? It feels what he's doing feels more impressive than Tom Brady. And so that you're sort of getting into what's harder. Because the quarterback position, for the most part, at least the way Tom Brady played it, it's more of like a super processing computer position.
A
Right,
mental thing.
right
Yeah.
defense, right play, reads, timing.
He's not out there running faster.
There's just no getting around
Yeah.
the fact that even though LeBron's good at resting, he has to run up and down the floor and jump.
Right. He has to explode past people.
So this
He
is
has
better
to-
than a 50-year-old pitcher or field goal kicker.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Come on.
So, so Tom, and I can't remember
A
what
golfer.
I
Yeah.
can't
come
remember
on.
how old Ichiro was.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
But
probably in the 40s.
maybe someone who has to run first base, but even then, so I don't know who I put above impressive for your age. I think I would go
As athletes, yeah.
I would go one LeBron, two Tom Brady, even though I haven't worked on this list.
Yeah, I haven't. I can't really think about it.
I mean, Kareem was up there, but Kareem was done he surpassed Kareem.
Right. I have no idea how old
Kareem, I think, was 41,
Yeah.
scoring 12 a game, shooting the hook.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Right. That makes me want to look into that some more. Okay. That's what
And just looking at LeBron, you just are like, what a specimen.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
for sure. Probably let us know if we missed somebody. And what do you want to go to next?
Let's see. I guess the only thing is, I have two things left, I guess. Okay. So I heard on, where did I hear this from? Oh, I heard on a podcast about bring me the beauties. And I thought, well, that's a good thing to download. So I watched all of Bring Me the Beauties. I was on an 8. This is an HBO.
Okay.
HBO documentary, 3 episodes, pretty short. So about 3 hours, let's say. And I heard about it. So I downloaded those 3 episodes and I watched it all in Heathrow when I was trapped in Terminal 3 for 8 hours, waiting for my plane. And I watched them all in a row as I sat there in one of the airport chairs. So, but it caught my attention. I enjoyed it. I like true crime. Cults maybe aren't top of my true crime list, but
How is your chair at Heathrow?
Like an airport waiting room chair.
Yeah, it was.
You know
Well,
what I'm
they
saying?
vary. To me, they vary widely.
No, just like a stiff one. I did have a plug. I sat with a plug, which was great. I love those plugs. I didn't have to buy an adapter either. I thought, I should have brought my UK adapter, but luckily they just had the little dot. So I was comfortable enough. It was fine, actually. It actually went by a lot better than it could have. It could have been a lot worse. The whole 3
It's a long
8
time.
hour later. Yeah. When I landed at Heathrow, I actually had to get on a bus. Don't you hate it when you land on a plane and they're like, get on this bus?
Mm.
I mean, it's only happened to me a handful of my life. And this bus, I was like 20 minutes riding around Heathrow. And it's like, good thing I have an 8-hour layover, I guess. This is pretty crazy. But I didn't have to go through customs, or through border control. So that was nice. So anyway, Bring Me the Beauties. It interests me because it was set in the 80s. It was about models. Love that, right?
This is a documentary.
And it's a documentary. Basically, this guy who I want to say he's probably in his 50s. He has a crazy name. I don't remember. Do I have it there? Can you read it for me?
He did Chris Smith.
No, Frederick.
Oh,
You don't see
Frederick
that one?
von Meyer.
Yes, so this was the guy. Yes, the documentary was by Chris Smith, who actually also did Tiger King. I learned after with my research. We all remember Tiger King.
We liked it at the beginning. We didn't finish it, but it did. We watched some
It caught
episodes
your eyes.
and
Yeah.
we were entertained.
So Frederick von Meyer, Eternal Values Cult. Now this guy, you could tell immediately he was a weirdo. And when I say weirdo, like, he's out there. He's got plastic surgery. He's saying crazy stuff on like cable. What do you call that cable stuff? That would be your local cable.
Cable access.
Yeah, cable access. He's out here. Anyway, he met this guy, Hoyt Smith. I think these are all fake names. They have actual real names. And Hoyt was only 16, and this guy met him on the beach and said, hey, when you're in New York, come party. He came to New York, he partied with him, and he learned about this cult, and he became immersed in this cult. After he went to Princeton. He went to Princeton. He graduated Princeton. And he was a good-looking guy, and I have a faint memory of this guy as a person who lived in the 80s. and probably looked at some ads with this guy's face in it, Hoyt's face, and he was a good-looking guy. Anyway, this guy had a cult. It was pretty interesting. He had other models in his cult, and basically, like Hoyt, financed this guy.
They're all men.
No, there's women. There was a woman model in the cult. Yeah. At first, they're like all celibate. The main guy is obviously gay. Hoyt seems straight. Now, did he ever sleep with this guy? I don't know. But that's regardless. At first, they were all celibate. And then two people started deciding they were in love with each other, this man and this woman. And then the head guy was like, okay, fine. You guys can, be together and everything, but then we're all going to have sex together. So it did have some crazy stuff happen. He also sold them gyms, like Hoyt paid $600,000 for a gym that's worth, $2,000. So there was a lot of rip-offs, and it was a lot of ripping someone down, like, you would have to sit in a room and everybody criticizes you, that kind of thing. It didn't seem so crazy to me, like the cult. I mean, they thought they were aliens. Yeah, I guess that's pretty crazy. Some of them thought they were aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens come to Earth to kind of help out the Earth. So there was some crazy stuff, but it didn't seem like they did really horrible things. But I guess, not nice things. So anyway, I found it interesting. It was entertaining.
Okay. I've got two more. You've got one more. So The Hawk, which I mentioned last week on my solo pod briefly, season 1 on Netflix. It stars Will Ferrell. He's sort of a John Daly kind of figure, golf figure.
Okay.
Fortune Feimster, do you know her?
Yeah, Fortune Feimster, I think.
Molly Shannon and Luke Wilson. So I think the first thing I'll say is Izzy, my daughter Izzy, who's 18. She and I watched all 10 episodes in about 5 or 6 days. I don't know that we've ever watched a whole season of any television show together. And to the point where we're driving to Boone and Izzy's like, when we get home, can we watch a couple episodes of The Hawk? So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Did you like the show? It was good?
And then I'll get to that.
You don't want to say. Okay.
So it gets 28% on Rotten Tomatoes on the tomato meter.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things.
That's bad. And it gets 65% on the popcorn score. And I wrote my first ever, I registered for Rotten Tomatoes and wrote my first ever review.
Oh, did you? And your review was positive.
Yeah, you know what? I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, which I guess is about 65%. So I think the first thing I'll say is it's so crass and vulgar that I feel like I have to say that for the people who I know listen to the podcast who are going to be like, I can't believe Torg watched this with his 18-year-old daughter. It introduced me to Fortune Feimster, who I love.
She's from North Carolina, Bill.
I didn't know that.
I see her TikToks a lot because her mom has cancer, sadly, and she visits her mom in North Carolina a lot. But yeah, I don't know what city or anything.
Both of my daughters knew and liked her already.
Yeah, she's funny. She's a stand-up. She's funny. So I got nothing bad to say about her.
This thing is, it's almost like Izzy at one point was like, I just wish there wasn't any trouble and good stuff just kept happening. Which is not really a show that you could have.
That's not a drama, yeah.
Izzy was like, maybe I'm going to make those kind of movies and television shows. She's going to major in filmmaking. But it's at its best when Fortune ends up being Will Ferrell's caddy.
Okay.
And they are so funny together, and they really get some good mojo going, and they make each other laugh, and they're being vulgar together. So that's when the show's at its best, I think. Luke Wilson, it certainly, the show knows that it comes after Happy Gilmore, and guy, and it does a bunch of nods to it. Like the guy, is his name Chubb, the guy who gets his arm bitten off by the alligator who has one hand?
You think I'm going to come up with that?
Okay, and he's Happy Gilmore's caddy, and he teaches Happy Gilmore to play golf. This guy is Will Ferrell's caddy to start with, and he dies. The president of the PGA and Happy Gilmore is still the president in this show. So there's a lot of overlaps like that. And then I thought one of Izzy's best observations was we went on to watch Anchorman because like Izzy really likes Ben Stiller. And she liked Will Ferrell in this. And so that led us to Anchorman. And of course, I knew this a little bit, but the Anchorman humor is so derived from ogling Christina Applegate and talking about sex and talking about what they'll do to Christina Applegate. And I feel like the comedy and, old schools like that, the comedy has evolved some since then.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Anchorman's set in the 70s, so I assume they were trying to reflect what the 70s was like. Right.
I mean, Christina Applegate is still a redeemable character who stands up for herself, but Izzy didn't like it. Izzy said there's
right. It wouldn't fly probably today.
And I think the difference is Will Ferrell is every bit as vulgar as he was in Anchorman, but Fortune Feimster and Molly Shannon are also as vulgar, and they aren't. It's not in the vulgar ogling the women. It's now just
Everything
really
else,
out there vulgar humor. Yeah. So and then it had an incredibly satisfying ending. We really liked the ending. So that matters.
Ending does a lot. And the ending in Odyssey did a lot to me. It was like,
And Megan said, and Megan didn't like the show. It was a little too much for her, I think. But she even said at one point, wow, if this was still the kind of world where people buy soundtracks, this would be a great soundtrack.
Oh, good music. Awesome.
For us of the 80s and 90s.
My comments, just some gossip asides. Luke Wilson, 54 years old, I believe.
Oh, really?
Just had a baby with his girlfriend, who's 30 years younger. So, interesting fact.
30 years younger.
30 years
So he's
younger.
enacting his old school self.
He is.
Exactly.
And his brother is just as bad, I've always heard. So, but they are entertaining actors. Fortune Feimster just got divorced, a lesbian. Really had pretty hot wife who was like, Fortune, she's with you for the money. I mean, what are you doing? Right. But,
so Fortune's married to her or no?
You said they're divorced. They're getting, or they're either are divorced or getting divorced. But yeah, she's pretty funny. I like her. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Molly Shannon, I'm always tickled by Molly Shannon. She's a fun actress to me. She's a very distinctive actress, but
yeah, I don't think I even had seen her in anything for a long time.
Except for SNL, yeah.
Right. And so, and to say something that sounds silly coming out of my mouth, she was a delight.
She had a very interesting life too. Her mother and her sister, I believe, died in a car crash that she was in with her father when they were very, very young. And then her father came out as gay later too, I think. So anyway, she's had a very interesting life. I've read maybe she has a book or something. I've read a little bit about that.
Yeah, she's still married to Will Ferrell character-wise in the show, but they're estranged. And she has a traveling partner who sometimes seem like a couple, but he's obviously gay in the show. So that really evokes what you said about her personal life.
Mm-hmm. And then Will Ferrell seems to be looking really strange to me lately.
He does look.
He almost looks like that model he was in that Zoolander. Is that what it's called? Zoolander. He has that look about him now.
Is he looking like that in life? Maybe he only looked that way because
I think he does look like that in life.
But maybe he looks like that in life because of the show.
Maybe, I guess, maybe. But yeah, to me, it's like, wow, you look really extreme.
I told everyone how you said on a previous podcast that Will Ferrell has a weird body and a big part of his comedy is showing his body.
Yeah, it is.
For example, there's a scene with him in a thong, of course.
Right. And he's had that many times in his life.
And he
wears marathons. And he'll take his shirt off and be like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, right. So he's very comfortable in his own skin.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. You've got one more. Yeah. You've got one more.
So my last one, I just remembered I read this book before my trip. I read this book called The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. And apparently it's first in a series. So I just put a hold on the other book in the library.
I'm so jealous of how you execute
my library.
not paying for books because I pay for books.
It's pretty great. The hold is like 4 weeks or something. It's a long time. But I read this book based on a search in TikTok for historical fiction. And they were like, here's 5 books. And so this was one of them. I put a hold on it. And it was a woman's, and it kind of really dives into the Odyssey here, it was a woman's point of view of the Trojan War.
Oh,
which
always
is
always a good thing to try.
Yeah, you never really thought about it. So it was a great perspective. Of course, she is still a noble.
Maleficent, Wicked.
Right, yeah.
Other pieces who have done this.
Yeah, but those women too had a lot of power. Maleficent and
No, I mean those are reimagined. Oh, I see. Maleficent was a powerful woman.
Yeah, I'm talking about a woman. No woman really had too much power in the world of the Odyssey. I guess they had a little power. And this was a woman who was married to some king. I don't remember the king's name, guys. And her town was taken by the Greeks. So Odysseus, Agamemnon, Achilles, all those guys. And of course, they took a number of the women as their slaves, consorts, whatever you want to call them. And she happens to become the consort to Achilles. And anyway, it was pretty interesting. It had a lot of her grief. You know, her brother, her husband, they all get her.
And you read the whole thing.
I read the whole thing, get killed in the takeover, you know, so she's dealing with that grief. And now all of a sudden she's the guy who killed her brother and her husband and all that is now, she has to have sex with him and serve him, you know. So it was a pretty interesting flip and a pretty interesting way to read the story.
The silence.
Even though that happens, it's like Achilles comes off kind of pretty sympathetic. So
yeah. The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker.
Pat Barker, yeah, interesting, good story.
All right, since I highlighted this in my image, I have to talk about John McPhee, who is kind of, I guess he's famous in like the MFA and creative writing circle, but who I have not.
So not too famous.
No, I know, right? It's like my favorite writer, as I've said several times, Nick Hornby. He always says like, being a famous writer isn't really being famous.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so but this so it's called Draft Number 4. It's about, I guess he did a lot of essays in the New Yorker about the writing life. This was originally published in the New Yorker. It included this advice, Anne. You're having trouble writing, and you just write "Dear Mom." And then you tell your mom about the thing you're trying to write about, and then you scratch out "Dear Mom," and then you turn it in.
Oh, okay.
I liked
it. Yeah, I just don't think I would be as truthful to my mom.
Oh, that's a good point. I like it.
I would hold back things if I was writing a letter to my mom.
So he was a Princeton guy. I think his father was a physician to athletes at Princeton, and then he went to Princeton, and then he taught at Princeton, and then he was at the New Yorker. There's a book. Oh, Ann, I need to link to your book. So remember, we're an Amazon affiliate.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. I should have done it.
Well, but you don't have a way to get. I have to grab the affiliate link.
We'll do it then. Yeah.
So there's an affiliate link that you wouldn't have access to since you're not logged in as me. And John McPhee is 95. That's not middle-aged.
Oh, he's very old. Wouldn't it be? Are we going to make it to 95, Bill? Who knows?
I don't know. That's what I think Gemini ended up putting me in about 92.
It's pretty old, especially for a guy.
It is really old for a guy. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't really have, I don't know. I guess anything over 90, I'll be like, whew.
Well, I feel like 80, you know. To me,
really? Anything over
I feel
80?
like your mind, I hope, in the way you're living and struggling to live kind of prepares you to be like, I'm ready to die. Yeah.
I think some things that are in my favor, although you never know. I think getting out of high school teaching and having the kind of life where I can take a nap and I have a little bit more time to work out and I usually get a pretty good night's sleep, I think that's worth a lot.
Yeah, I think sleep, I'm really good on sleep and I am good at working out. Those are the two things.
You and I think that Dad's Parkinson's really wiped out Mom mentally.
Yes. And you know, we talked about that before, about her lack of sleep and stuff. Also the hearing. Hearing is a key with dementia. Yeah.
And I
hope my hearing doesn't go.
We can't even, there's nothing about Mom's life that says this lady's going to lose her hearing.
Yeah, it's not like she's a drummer.
unless
Yeah,
being in the band or something. Because I mean,
briefly, 4 years or whatever.
yeah, it's not like she went to concerts.
Yes, she didn't go to concerts or
She didn't
shows.
listen to headphones.
I guess she watched a lot of basketball games. Maybe that's screaming and yelling.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the book is called Draft Number Four on the writing process. That's not something you would get into. And I want to read this paragraph from Wikipedia about some of the things he wrote about.
Okay.
Here we go. Reflecting his personal interests, McPhee's subjects are highly eclectic. He has written pieces on lifting body development, called the deltoid pumpkin seed, the psyche and experience of a nuclear physicist, the curve of binding energy, the New Jersey wilderness area, the Pine Barrens, the United States merchant marines looking for a ship, farmers markets giving good weight, the movement of coal across America, Coltrane in Uncommon Carriers, the shifting flow of the Mississippi River, I can't pronounce the name of that book, geology in several books, as well as a short book entirely about oranges. One of his
So
most
he's all over the
widely
place.
one of his most widely read books coming into the country is about Three Faces of Alaska, the urban, the rural, and the Alaskan wilderness. Holy smokes.
It's pretty wide range. The thing that sticks out to me is Pine Barrens. Do you have any idea why? Pine
No.
Barrens, the New Jersey forest. That's the title of one of the greatest episodes of The Sopranos, where they're lost out in Pine Barren trying to get rid of this dead body. And it is a great, great episode, Sopranos. Did you watch Sopranos? No. Huh?
No.
Pine Barrens you could watch that by itself and enjoy it.
I did one of those things that people give me a hard time for.
What's that?
One day I watched the first episode of Sopranos and I watched the very last episode of Sopranos.
You watched the last. The last is kind of disappointing.
I skipped everything. I really liked the last one. When he put Journey on, I liked it.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, what happens?" It really doesn't.
So how many episodes did I skip? 8 years worth? 9 years?
I don't know how many seasons, but at least 5, right?
Yeah.
Pine Barrens is one of the best. It truly is. It's a great
That's
episode.
The name of the episode?
The name of the episode, I believe, is Pine Barrens. Yeah, that's why I even recognize the name, because I don't know New Jersey state forest very well.
Right, same. One more thing about this. It's too bad this story is probably not true, but it's the stretched truth about someone who ended up becoming some kind of editor at the New Yorker. So the story goes, there's this woman named Eleanor Gould who, when she was 22 years old, she had a copy of the New Yorker and she just marked it up with all the mistakes that were in it. Which you and I probably would have found zero mistakes.
Yeah, I surely wouldn't.
So she just marked it up and she mailed it to the New Yorker. And it was passed on to the editor. And the editor said something like, "We got to hire this bitch."
Okay.
So he says that's probably a stretched story and it didn't quite happen like that. But then she worked there forever. So this is a sentence about that woman. She doesn't mind when friends call her the pencil lady. A blog she began on the New Yorker's website, mostly about copy editing, evolved into the best-selling book, Between You and Me, Confessions of a Comma Queen. And I do have our affiliate link in case you want to read anyone, Confessions of a Comma Queen.
Okay.
Who knows what that'll be?
What are you saying? Comma?
Confessions
comma.
of a comma queen.
Yeah,
That's
I get it now. Yeah, for grammar.
I might read some. I downloaded some McPhee samples, so I'm going to check those out.
Okay. Yeah. Enjoy your reading.
And then I read a lot more, but I'm not going to talk anymore. This has been pretty long.
Pretty long. Pretty good.
And welcome back to the United States of America.
Thanks. LA, baby.
Are you making plans or are you just trying to recover?
Trying to recover. Not making any plans right now. I need to pay off some bills.
And I finally secured my hotels for my drive to Salt Lake City.
When is that all happening?
I don't know if I want to give out the exact date.
Yeah,
I guess you'll figure it out. But our dog and my wife will still be here. So, if you want to take on Indy, go ahead. And then Megan's flying out and we're actually trading.
Are you driving by yourself or are you driving with Izzy?
Driving with Izzy.
You and Izzy are driving across country together.
Yep. So night 1, Columbia, Missouri.
I've been to Columbia.
Oh, really?
One time I wanted to see the singer, Shelby Lynn. I loved her.
Oh,
She
yeah,
was
I
playing
remember
in
her.
Columbia, Missouri. I drove from Indianapolis, Indiana to Columbia, Missouri in one night and drove back. It was murder.
We almost, this will give away the date. We almost did night one in Indianapolis to see the Fever and the Liberty,
Oh, yeah.
but it's only an 8.5 hour drive. That is not enough. We need to cover more
You
ground
need
than that.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to.
8.5 is pretty good, though.
We're going 12, 12, 9.
Right. Yeah.
Night 2, just outside of Cheyenne, Wyoming, at the Little America Resort.
You'll be so bored by Wyoming, but great.
I know.
Yeah.
And then third night in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, baby.
Hey, staying 2 nights and then driving home.
Oh, you're not driving your car out there?
I am driving my car out there. I'm saying
Her car.
Oh, no, she's not taking her car.
Oh, so you're just driving back in your car.
I'm driving a car full of her stuff.
Whose car are you taking?
We're probably taking Megan's car.
Putting all that miles on Megan's, yeah.
Or renting. Should I rent?
I don't know.
Here's
I don't like renting cars.
So I get a deal because I at App State.
Right.
Here's the only hesitation. I think so. It's 4,000 miles. So you'd rather put that 4,000 miles on a rental car, right?
For sure, yeah.
But the trade-off is, I hope this is a good rental car.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't break down.
I hope it doesn't break down. I hope it's.
Hope the tires are okay.
Yeah.
You could maybe get one that has a good kind of gas situation.
Now you
better
do
than yours, yeah.
Well, it's got to be big enough for her stuff, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I
now,
don't trust that Enterprise in Boone. I'm sorry.
to have the car that you ordered, or what? You don't trust them for what?
Yeah, I don't trust them for all sorts of. To even have a car. Yeah.
I know. I am thinking of if I rent. Sorry, Enterprise. If I rent the car the day before, I would be able to show up and say, I don't want this.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
And then we would just shift into the Highlander, which I have done. I rented a certain car so we could take Mom to the beach. Were you here then? I think you were.
No, I met you at the beach. Remember?
Yeah. And then they did not
like
produce the right car. And I said, forget it. I don't want it.
Oh, and you took your normal car. Yeah.
And then we just took our car. Yeah.
Well, I was there once and they gave me a minivan, if you recall.
Yeah.
And I drove the minivan to go get something to eat and it wouldn't shift at all. And I went back and they were in deep trouble because there was like 5 people in that office trying to get cars and they were like, we don't have any. But they did give me mine right away. They gave me a new minivan. It's like, I don't even want a minivan.
Yeah. The plus side of it would be if it breaks down, I call Enterprise and they probably bring me a new one.
I guess. I don't know how that works. Yeah.
But I am on a kind of a time crunch. So, because I got to get back for my classes. So Megan's flying out and staying for 4 nights. Utah's letting us move in early.
You're dropping her off. Megan's flying out same time. She'll arrive there.
Next day. Yeah.
And then you're leaving. And then Megan will fly back 4 days later.
After
Sounds
his
like a plan.
In. There it is.
Yeah. And then you'll be
all
with
right.
the listeners.
And good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Smart takes the shot, and the Hoosiers with 3 seconds. Go ahead.
But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete
and a basket case, a princess,
and a criminal. Does that answer your question?
I love you guys.